Welcome to another edition of Team Prosperity's weekly team training. This week, we're going to get into another part of the business model that is really, really important if you are going to execute. And so we're going to get into that. But before we do, we just want to review last week, which happened to fall on tax day, April 15th. So what we did last week is we did a training on how to turn tax season into a strategy session. What does that mean? Helping clients win by saving, building wealth, avoiding taxes, things like that. So if somebody pays a lot of taxes, what does that mean? That means they probably make a good amount of money. So if their pressing issue is taxes and you can get in front of them with a solution to their problem, guess what? It's a trickle down business model because we handle every building block, every aspect of the financial plan. So it doesn't matter where they come in, they're going to get introduced to everything that we do. And there's multiple ways that we can help clients. And through that process, you are giving them a better financial plan and also further monetizing that relationship that you have with them. So this week, we're going to talk about the power of communication flow. This is what you have to master if you're going to learn how to open, continue, and direct conversations. What does opening, continuing, and directing conversations mean? That means you're taking people through cycles of communication and leading them to endpoints. Sometimes it's a disqualification, sometimes it's a qualification, sometimes it's a sale, whatever it might be. But you have to break this stuff down and you have to understand the important aspects of each one of the three, but don't get too far down the line. If you're not good at opening conversations, you don't need to worry about directing conversations right now. You need to stick in to mastering the opening of the conversations. And this is an extremely important notice because this skill set is one of the most important skill sets that you'll ever master in this business. And this is what separates those from who just talk to people from those who influence, convert, and lead. So you can go out there, you can have a lot of conversations. I call it being the chameleon, random conversations with random people trying to blend in, or you can learn a systematic approach to opening, continuing, and directing conversations that actually lead you to results. Have you ever had a conversation where you felt like everything was going good in that conversation, but then absolutely nothing came from it? Well, this happens what we call a communication breakdown. It happens because there's no flow or there's no direction to the communication that you're having. Today, we're going to break down the three stages of effective communication that help build trust, uncover needs, and move people into next action steps. Remember, as a agency builder, as a producer, as a manager, as a marketer, as a consultant, you should be obsessed with next action steps. If you're not, you're going to find a lot of your day is just chasing after people that you should have directed to the next action step in the previous conversation. It's as simple as one, two, three. We've got a 1-2 process, a two-step process for converting debt to wealth. Very simple for our clients. This is a 1-2-3 process for communication. It's opening. That means that you're capturing the attention and building a connection. And once again, if you're not good at opening conversations, that's where you need to stick and that's where you need to practice until you get good enough at that, where the other ones can open up. So after you open a conversation, you're going to continue that conversation. What does that mean? That means keeping the engagement, deepening the conversation, and that finally leads to directing, confidently guiding to the next step, no matter where it is. If it's a guide, if it's a webinar, if it's a custom savings report, if it's an illustration, it really doesn't matter. Next action step obsessed. If you get good at opening, continuing, and directing conversations and teaching other people to do that, you will build a nice agency that not only helps the clients, but also helps yourself and your partners. It's not a framework where, hey, this is how I deal with clients. You have another framework with this is how I deal with partners, and I have another framework with how I deal with active teammates. No, the framework applies whether you're talking to any of these people, client, prospect, referral partner, even a teammate. So understand that this framework, once you master it, can be applied to every situation, every conversation, in every part of your business model, no matter what role or roles you're taking on. So there are three stages of the communication flow. We talked about those: opening, continuing, and directing communication. Stage one is the most important, because if you can't open, you're never going to get to continue and direct. So take it piece by piece, stage by stage, understanding that you have to master stage one. Just like we tell our clients, you need to, if you're holding debts like mortgages and credit cards and student loans, you need to do step one first. You need to master stage one first and then work on the other two, or work on stage two and three. Understanding, remembering, you got a lot of help. So if you can open conversations, get good at that, we can help you continue and direct either through automation or through the manual inputs that we do. So this is the first stage, opening. This is creating curiosity and connection. And once again, if you're not opening conversations, you're never going to continue in direct conversations. The opening of the conversation is where you either hook their attention or you lose it. And you've got just a few seconds to do this. You have one shot to show up with confidence and create that curiosity. Here's what a strong opening is going to do for you. Strong opening is going to establish why this conversation matters. That's important, right? And then it's going to create a natural human connection. And then it's going to set the tone for you to actually lead. So when you're looking at this, opening, that's all you're doing. You're creating a connection and you're creating curiosity, the two C's. If you're able to do that, we can move on to the next stage. If you're not able to do that, stay here until you feel comfortable and confident in doing that. Strong opening, like I said, is going to establish why the conversation matters, create a natural human connection so it doesn't sound like a sales pitch or a recruiting pitch, and then sets the tone for you to lead the conversation. Someone is going to lead that conversation. It's going to be you or the other party. You need it to be you. So here's the keys to a strong opener. Number one is confidence and energy in your voice. If you sound terrible, nobody's going to buy into whatever it is that you're talking about because they haven't bought into you. So you need to be confident. You need to be energetic in your voice and your tone. Get people to buy into you and start with value or insight. If you're just going straight into a pitch, it's going to fall on deaf ears. You need to start with value or insight, get the connection made, get the conversation flowing in a good way. Ask a question that gets a yes or invites curiosity. Billy Mays, the pitch man that did the OxyClean, he started on the Atlantic City Boardwalk. And he said that in order to get a crowd of people gathering around you, you need to be able to ask a question where most everybody is going to agree or disagree with that. Once you get that yes or you get that curiosity built, you can maneuver and frame the conversation. Pro tip on opening conversations and having a strong opening is don't sound scripted, even though you're going to be scripted, but always be intentional. So one of the keys to learn a script is A, learn it, and then B, make it sound like it's not a script. So if you can do those, these are the keys to a strong opener. And these are some opening examples. Remember, your goal in this stage is to spark curiosity, build a connection, and set the tone. So you have conversation starters, you have direct messages or text messages, and then depending on, if you're dealing with a client, or these are examples of business partner recruiting. So, hey, real quick, I've been working with families to help them eliminate all their debt and build wealth faster. Can I show you how it works? Do you know anyone trying to get ahead financially but feel stuck with debt or taxes? I got something powerful to show them. Most people have no idea they're overpaying on debt interest and taxes. Have you ever run a custom report to see how much you could save? Remember, we're not talking about products. We're not talking about services. We're talking about problems and solutions. DM or text message, quick question. If I could cancel all your debt in 5 to 7 years without changing your loan, lifestyle, or budget, would you want to know how? I'm working on a financial campaign that helps homeowners free up thousands in hidden costs. Want to see what your numbers look like. And then the last one, hey, we're helping agents earn more by combining smart financial tools with powerful life insurance strategies. You open and checking it out. So your goal, like I said, spark curiosity, build a connection, set the tone so you can lead that conversation. All right, let's move on to stage two. After you open, you're going to continue. And we continue by keeping the engagement and continuing to provide value. So you've opened the door now. Remember, opening the door is the hardest part. Now what? Well, the goal in this phase is to keep them engaged while you uncover pain or desire, as well as continually add value. This is where most agents are going to fall or falter, because once you open conversations, you've got to master continuing them, and they're either going to do one of two things. They're going to talk way too much, and overwhelm, or they're going to freeze up and not know what to say next. Both are detrimental to stage two and being able to move them to stage three, which is the direct. So remember, continuing is just going to be after the opening. You're keeping the engagement, providing value, addressing pain points, and kind of introducing solutions at this point. And the keys to continuing well, number one, ask open-ended question. What are your financial goals right now? Somebody doesn't have any financial goals, how does that make them feel? If you got no goals, what are you ever going to accomplish if you don't know what you're trying to accomplish, right? Do you feel like you're making progress with your debt? These are questions that demand answers and can continue the conversation. Acknowledge their answers. Hey, that makes sense. You're definitely not alone in that. And then bridge your offer. So open-ended questions, acknowledge their answers, and then bridge your offer. That's exactly why we start with a custom savings report. Let me show you what our clients are doing to fix that exact problem. So once you open, then you continue, and there's keys to doing both opening and continuing well. Let's talk about, remember, goal is to build rapport, discover the needs, continue to provide the value. Discovery questions. What's your biggest financial focus right now? Is it paying off debt, saving more, or building for the future? It's demanding an answer, and an answer is going to give you an insight into what's most important for them. You can structure the conversation. Do you feel like your money is working as hard for you as it should? What kind of financial freedom would you want to create if money wasn't in the way? That gets people thinking, because a lot of times the money is the obstacle. Remove the obstacle. What do you want out of your life? Let's plan it out. Have you ever heard of the strategy banks use to multiply money using the same dollar more than once? And then when you're at education and reframing, most people don't realize they pay 2 to 3 times more their original debt due to interest. The average American guys pays over 600 grand in interest during their lifetime. We help eliminate that without refinancing. That's going to be somebody's first question. So we're going to preemptively overcome that. Is this refinancing? No, it's without refinancing. This isn't about budgeting harder. This isn't about cutting down your expenses. It's about positioning your money smarter so it works for you. Remember, there's only so much we can cut from the expense side. That's a very defeating experience. Quite frankly, it doesn't do too much. So it's not about restricting somebody. It's about unlocking the power of their cash flow and getting their money working smart for them. The banks are making money off you either way. We teach you how to flip the script and take the bank's position. What about soft bridges to the next step? So you have the discovery questions, you have the education reframing. Remember, that's the acknowledgement of some of the answers, and you have the soft bridges to the next step. That's exactly why we run this custom savings reports. It shows you exactly how much you could free up, how fast you get it done. It's the blueprint for success. Whatever they decide to do with it is up to them. I'd love to walk you through our two-step process. It's how our clients are creating passive income while canceling debt. So once again, opening, continuing conversations. And you need to, at this point, this is your moment to listen more than you speak. And if you have to, cover your mouth. So this is where it's ultra important that you are doing really two things. You are listening, not talking, and you are taking notes. Let them feel heard while you guide the conversation towards your solution. You don't have to talk the most to guide the conversation. You can both let the other side talk more and guide the conversation. That's an art. Once you learn to do that, special things start to happen for you and your business. And then finally, stage three, directing. After we've opened, after we've continued the conversation, now we're going to direct the conversation. Where are we going to direct it? We're going to lead them towards the next action step. That's why we are always talking about being next action step obsessed. It's not up to them. We're going to tell them what to do, and they're going to do one of two things: fall in line, give you a reason why they can't. This is the most important thing. Great conversations are absolutely useless if they don't go anywhere. You have to direct the next step. That might mean scheduling a discovery call, sending them a video with a follow-up date, booking their savings report, introducing them to the business opportunity. Everything you do, conversation, text, phone call, email, meeting, whatever it is, it all has to have an objective or a goal. Why are you doing this? That's the next action step. Make sure everything connects together. Don't get to stage three and just blow it all up. If you get to the opening, you get to the continuation, you get to the directing, don't just fall off a cliff here. Make sure that you are leading that conversation to the next action step. How to direct. Well, you want to summarize the conversation first and foremost. It sounds like freeing up more monthly cash flow is important to you. Is that right? And then you want to present the next action step clearly. Let's get your custom savings report scheduled. It takes about 30 minutes. What works for you? I'll send you a quick video that breaks this down. Can I text it to you? Remember, no matter what you're doing, you're going to either have a follow-up date, a concrete date on the calendar for some type of an event, or you're having a follow-up. Hey, you're going to watch this video. I'm going to follow up with you tomorrow at the scheduled time. And these are directed examples. Remember, your goal at stage 3 is to lead clearly and confidently to the next step. Setting the appointment. Let's get you a custom savings report so we can see what's possible. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes. What's better, mornings or afternoons? Or, hey, I've got Thursday afternoon or Friday morning available for you. What works best? Sounds like you benefit from seeing our strategy in full. I'll send you a quick 7-minute video. I can text it to you right now. And then once again, the video is not the next action step. The next action step is after you watch it, we're going to follow up, right? So make sure you get that in place so you're not following up for the sake of scheduling the follow-up. Discovery call or the call to action. The next step is easy. We'll hop on a quick strategy call to see where you are and what we can do for you. What's a good time for you? And then closing with clarity. So to recap, we'll run the savings report. I'll walk you through the numbers. Then we'll review a plan to cancel your debt and start building wealth. Cool? So that's all you got to do, guys. Just master that 3-step process of opening, continuing, and directing. And remember that when you get to the direction or the directing stage, don't just abandon. Don't get to the finish line and just veer off 90 degrees. Get to the finish line and go through it so you can move on and effectively teach yourself, teach others how to do this. Be more confident, guys. You have to be confident and assumptive. You have to assume that the directing at stage 3, whatever you lay out, they're going to agree with. Remember, they're either going to agree with you and fall in line or give you a reason not to. People are looking for leadership. Are you that person? Are they going to buy into your ability to help them get to their goals or avoid whatever it is they're trying to avoid? Don't end with letting them decide. So, what do you think? What do you think we should do next? Do you think we should have another meeting? I mean, guys, that is giving total control to the other side. Instead, say, here's what we're going to do next. Don't ask, tell. And then these are kind of the bonus, the flows in action. So opening, if you could eliminate all your debt in a fraction of the time without changing your loan lifestyle or your budget, would you want to know how? What's your current strategy for paying off your mortgage and your debts? Let's get a free custom savings report so you can see your savings and your timeline possibilities. I've got availability Thursday afternoon or Friday morning. What works better? Open, continue, direct. That's all you're going to do. And through that process, you're going to qualify, disqualify. Some people will disqualify themselves by not being able to stay in line with the cycles of communication. So these are your practice ideas. This is what I encourage you guys to do and teach your agents to do is craft, 1 to 2 go-to openers. Remember, your opening line is everything. If you don't get that opening line in a way that creates curiosity and connection, you have no chance of the stage 2 and 3. Write out 3 to 4 discovery questions and then memorize 1 to 2 next step directs that you can use in your conversations this week. So what's the practice idea? Get used to these 3 stages. Start with the opening, master that, and then move on. If you need our help, let us know. And then recap and action steps. So, the opening is going to build the bridge. Continuing uncovers the opportunity, and directing leads to results. Now, results are not always revenue and income. Sometimes results are preemptive to that stuff, like the savings reports, like the discovery call, etc. This is the formula to turn more conversations into appointments, partners, and sales. So your actions for the week, guys, pick one area that you need to know that you improve in, whether it's opening, continuing, and directing. This is the first time you've ever heard this 3-stage process. Probably going to be opening for 90% of us. So we need to get good at opening and then work on that language and use it every day this week. I don't care if you're out and about or if you have to call on some people that you know to practice, whatever it is, practice makes perfect. And you don't get perfect from planning and preparing. You get perfect from actually practicing, actually having the activity. So go out, get the rocks out of your mouth, get good and comfortable at stage 1, then move on to stage 2 and stage 3. And these are the final thoughts right here for today's training. Remember, your words create momentum. When you communicate, it has flow and people will follow you. So if people buy into you, special things are going to start happening on the partner and client side. If you master this, you'll never be stuck wondering what to say or where a conversation should go. Opening, continuing, and directing. You'll be the one leading every step of the way. And I'm going to leave you with this thought today before we stop the recording and open up for questions is stop being reactive in your business, making or waiting for things to happen. You need to be proactive. Opening, continuing, and directing conversations is called being proactive. That's what's going to make it happen, and that's what's going to build your business.